All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezer Show, your weekly rock news outlet here, Upper Midwest. Yeah, we got some interesting stories this week too. By golly, we'll be talking about Kiss. They're in the news again, all over the place, really. So discuss that and some surprising findings on the Back to the Beginning concert, the Ozzy concert, Dealey Wop that we mentioned and a few other things, some lost tapes, somebody taking a break because he's not as big a rock star as he thought. We're going to talk about that. Some comments from a legendary performer, a retirement announcement, all sorts of wacky stuff going on here. A chef getting his butt kicked. That was crazy cool. In a weird way. We'll talk about that. But I'm your host, Murph, and yeah, over there in Wayne's World, baby. Doc Box, what's going on, Doc?
Yes, sir. Doing quite well. There's some cryptic descriptions there. We'll
Not true that.
explain as we go along here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, Kiss is in the news again, man. They got the which I don't get the Kiss. What is the Kiss cruise? But it's in Vegas. What? Where are they?
Yeah,
They're not
they're calling
cruising
it
anywhere.
the Kiss Cruise, landlocked in Vegas. It's just an excuse, for them to get out and play without the
Just call
makeup.
it the Kiss convention or Kiss. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I
Kiss
know,
cruise.
but no, no,
Whatever.
but yeah. So yeah, it's all over. They pay right out the gate. They paid tribute to Ace. And at the beginning of the
Yeah.
concert, this what they did an unplugged performance. Was just I don't know. I'm not a big fan of unplugged performances, so to speak. But so they had an unplugged performance, and Paul Stanley asked fans in the audience to lift the electric candles, which were handed out to everybody prior to the gig, in honor of the founding Kiss guitarist who died last month at the age of 74. Before we go on, which is usually how he talks, we just wanted to take a moment to think about someone who is at the foundation of the band, Paul said. And we're talking about Ace. So we certainly had differences, but that was family is about. And why don't we just take a moment, a little quiet, to think about him looking down on us from the planet Jandel, probably, and let's
Oh,
have a
that's where he's
moment for
from. Okay.
Ace. Oh, that's where he's from. I don't know.
He's
I
from
did.
Jindal. Huh? Okay. He's Jindalian. Is that
Jandel. Well, it's better than being a Balchinian or whatever that was in Men in Black. Yeah, Balchinian. But yeah, so they had it. They're apparently they're trying to get a boat together to do an actual cruise next year. But according to Gene or Paul, they haven't got it together yet. But yeah, so landlocked in Vegas. Well, surprise, surprise. They're probably never going to end. And it just seemed, I watched a video of them doing "Nothing to Lose." Uh, I think
really still
Bruce
doing that one?
Kulick.
Huh?
Oh, well, that's a classic from the first live album. I remember that. That first live album was really something, man. Ooh,
You know
boy.
what it's about?
No, don't really care. I'm just listening to music, man.
It's
I
about
don't want
anal
to know.
sex.
I don't want. Jeez. Figures,
Listen
because
to the
I just like
lyrics.
the
It's right there. It's all right
music.
there.
I don't. I've told you this forever, man. I'm in the music more than lyrics, so I don't pay shit to. But it just just
Yeah,
looked like a
but damn it,
regular
Murph, if
band.
I'm listening to a song about anal sex, I want to know up front
Well,
that I'm
they should
listening
have
to a
told me.
song about
They
anal
should have
sex.
put a
I think
warning
Paul
on there.
Stanley invented anal sex.
Because oh wow, ooh, yeah, I would not have watched it had or listened to it at all, Doc, had I known that. But I'm into the music, not necessarily what the heck they're saying. But so yeah, they're they're trying to get with it and get a actual cruise going. But until then, and Unmasked, they just it's another band, just any other band, average
Yeah,
basically.
doing an unplugged set. They don't have many songs that really lend themselves to that. I know they did the unplugged back in the MTV days. They had Peter and Ace
Yeah.
join in, but yeah, they're the ballads and
My
Hard Luck
heater's
Woman.
broke. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I don't
Dun,
know.
dun, 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 dun,
Maybe I have to
dun.
revisit some of those, but
I
I don't
need
know.
your fuel. But at the same time, uh, Paul Stanley is teasing. Let me see. Let me whip it up here on the other computer.
Yeah, he's
Paul
made a couple other
Stanley
comments.
is teasing new Kiss music. He says he's been writing. Yeah, yeah. So, November 5th, 16th, the four members of Kiss, Stanley, Simmons, Thayer, and Singer, took part in a question and answer session moderated by professional wrestler and Fozzy frontman Chris Jericho. How about that?
Okay,
During
yeah,
the
that makes
Kiss
sense.
Cruise Landlocked in Vegas. Yeah, and this is where he's talking about, possibly putting out new music and stuff. And good riddance. Good riddance already, man. We've we've had
Now I
enough.
remember seeing him on an interview on oh god, he was on a podcast, Howie Mandel's podcast, and he was talking about he'll probably never write again. He's like he's written everything he's got to write. There's nothing left in him, base. But he always tries to make it more profound and basically he just can't write it anymore. He tries to make it more profound and
Yeah, it
some
just run out of
some
ideas
some
and shit.
grandiose reasoning behind it or something. But
Oh,
so
whatever.
he was writing again, whatever. I can't imagine it's gonna be all that great, but whatever.
Here's a side note. It's good riddance. Pop-up ads. I hate pop-up ads, brother. Ace, one of his guitars is going up for auction. It's the iconic smoking guitar.
Oh, really?
Oh, crying out loud. Yes, Kiss's Ace Frehley, he passed away, blah, blah. So his legendary Kiss Axeman, he owned and signed the Sunburst Gibson Les Paul smoking guitar, which is one of several instruments being sold at the online auction presented by GottaHaveRockandRoll.com. The biddings will start Wednesday with a minimum bid of $100,000 for a piece of Ace history. I wonder what year it is. Yeah, yeah.
There's a video out there where he's on Headbangers Ball back in the day, and he's got his smoking guitar, and he shows like how it works. Like
A
one of the
little smoke
pickups is
machine. Yeah,
fake,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you push it in, and they have it, a load of whatever in
Oh,
there.
crying out loud. But yeah, but apparently he strummed this guitar all through Kiss's 1998 and 1999
Oh, back on the reunion, yeah.
Psycho Circus tour and the band's 2000 and 2001 farewell tour. In other words, this guitar is iconic. So I imagine it'll easily, where's Joe Bonamessa? Jeez, my gosh, he's really, yeah, that'll, yeah, the starting bid is 100. I'm guessing, boy.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Like all those, like Sebastian Bach, all those big Kiss fans that grew up Kiss fans, they're gonna be, they'll be, yeah, with him passing
I'm
now.
gonna
Oh, that's
guess.
gonna fetch a hefty sum.
I don't know. I'll go at least a half mil. Half mil.
Yeah,
I'll go the
yeah,
half mil on that one.
yeah. I'm with you. Yep, yep. Out
And we'll
there.
see what
Yeah.
happens. But boy.
Oh, I don't know if you saw too while we're on with Kiss. Paul
Wow.
Stanley was asked about doing the Sphere in
All right.
Vegas,
And
and
and he said, no, it just isn't us because the way he put it was the thing about the sphere is you're more focused on everything else around you, and there's just a little band down there somewhere doing
right,
something,
right.
So it's not really a presentation of the band. You're just looking at everything else, and there just happens to be music playing, which is I can see his point, but yeah. No, Kiss unmasked at the
No, see,
thing.
he
No,
should have
no.
said, "No, we've done our final show." That's the reason. But see, Paul Stanley,
Exa-
he's always got to give some,
Always got an angle, man.
yeah.
Always got an angle. So yeah. So I don't know. Just give it up, guys. But and like I said, Gene's still looking for a boat for next year's actual cruise, which I don't know, man. Whatever. I guess
Where would
it's
they cruise off to? I don't know.
Kiss. I don't know, Dagestan, where all the UFC fighters are. Yeah. I don't know. But here's something I do know. We got hoodwinked and bamboozled, Doc.
And
Hoodwinked,
buffaloed.
buffaloed, if you will. Here it is, the
Perhaps even
Back to the
bullshitted.
Beginning. Oh, I got an itch where I can't read. Back to the Beginning tour or the concert, the Black Sabbath. The big boy. This thing was just monstrous. I actually paid for the streaming, the live stream.
Yes, you did. Thank you again for that. Yes.
You betcha. Yeah, I paid out for that, and we thought, man, this thing's just gonna make money hand over fist, right, Doc? Like, how many people were streaming it?
Well, 5.8 million online, And you'll remember it was like immediately afterwards. Tom Morello was the musical director for the event and came out and said that they'd raised $190 million
I thought
for
that's
their
amazing.
charities.
I thought,
And then Sharon was quick to come out and they slowly roll. We got to figure this out. That's not how much money we actually got for the charities. Once we get the figures put together, we'll come out with an amount.
you crunch
And
the numbers. Yeah, they got
yeah,
to
yeah,
crunch
yeah,
the
yeah.
numbers. Yeah,
And during the Osborne family podcast,
yeah,
she
yeah.
said how much. And
And basically, my Depends loaded up at right at that point. Just kidding. $11 million. My
how?
gosh,
How?
how so
How do you go
little?
from 190 million to 11 million?
Boy,
How?
that's some serious expenditures there. Yeah.
And she goes on to say, well, we flew everybody in. We flew everybody. Well, you didn't buy them a plane. You didn't buy them each their own plane. My God, that's 190 million down to 11. That's
well,
179 million burnt.
well,
Burnt, man.
I paid $30, I believe, for the stream. So $30 times what? 3 million?
5.8 million.
Okay, well, let's just wait. 30 3 million would be 30 million. So 50. Gosh, the stream alone should
That's
have taken.
160 million right there just with the stream alone.
Is it that much? Yeah, 50 plus. Yeah, 100. Oh no, 30 times 3 million. I don't know.
5
3
million.
million,
Almost 6 million.
33, 6 million.
So if it were 6 million, it'd be 180, but it's 5.8. So you'll say 165 million right there. Plus the donations that came in.
Oh
You had
yeah,
the
yeah.
40,000 people in there in person. I'm sure it's $100 a ticket. There's
Oh,
4 million right
minimum.
there
Yeah.
just for the ticket coming in the door.
So something's rotten in Denmark there, Doc.
11 million out of that. How? Sharon, you got some splaining to do.
Sharon.
Man.
My gosh.
And
Wow.
she just goes, "Oh gosh, I wish it were 190 million. Oh gosh, or 140. How do you? I'm stumped. This has been blowing my mind since I heard this figure. How do
Gosh.
you lose 180 million dollars?
Yeah, something's rotten in Denmark. I imagine just a regular, like if Springsteen was to come to the stadium in Chicago or the
United
Bears,
Center, yeah.
the Bears, the big
Or
one.
Soldier Field, yeah.
That's probably that's $11 million right there. Just that, but with all the street, like you say, the streaming and the donations, and boy, something just doesn't add up.
They
I
were
don't
selling
know.
T-shirts, all the merch, all that stuff. And you're telling me you giving $11 million? It's stunning. I'm stunned.
Yeah, we got to, somebody's got to do some investigative reporting. Gee, many
I hope this wasn't Sharon just trying to get that one big last payday off of Ozzy.
gosh,
Just I don't
where's
know, man.
John Bulldog Drummond when we need him? Doggone
It's
it. This is crazy. I'm sorry. Yeah, when her son Jack Osborne asked about how much money it generates, she said it was around 11 million. I just that just no. You got 30 of my dollars, and there, geez, 3 million beside me, 5, 6 million beside. Yeah, this doesn't add up. Yeah, we'll find out. Somebody will find out. They're gonna have to break down the expenditures and shit. I imagine.
you
Because
didn't
it
pay
wasn't
anybody.
charity. It was a.
Everybody was there on their own. Well,
Oh,
I mean, you flew them in, flew them out,
right,
but
but
nobody
yeah.
got paid.
Oh my God.
How?
No,
How?
no. Something's rotten in Denmark,
Something is
Dorothy.
definitely rotten.
Holy cow. I'm sure we'll find out. They're going to have to, it's a charity thing, so they're going to have to reveal everything. Every shekel, if you will, every drachma, all that good. So they're going to have to lay it out. So good luck, Sharon. Speaking of Sharon, where are the young lads?
Is this another attempt to milk the cow for everything it's worth?
That's what I was thinking. There they are, the super young lads. I think this was actually a picture of Earth. But right before Sabbath became Sabbath, they were known as Earth. And back in the day, they had they did some recording. And now, what is it? One of the old managers, I think, is putting it out in June. It was announced that a compilation of demos that Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward recorded in 1969 when they still went by the name Earth. And it was to be released under the title Earth, the legendary lost tapes. And it was recording in Birmingham, dude. The tracks were recording in Zella Studios in Birmingham. And the new release was set to be overseen by Jim Simpson, the band's manager at the time, with an initial release date of July this year. But, here we go, that release did not happen, however, and now Sharon Osbourne has spoken out against the project. She issued a detailed social media post on November 15th, a couple of days ago, in which she outlined the Black Sabbath legal position, which disputes the legal ownership of the recordings. There she goes.
Oh, so in other words, just who's going to make a buck off of it? Yeah. If she can't make a buck, she don't want it out. Yeah.
You are so correct, sir. Yeah, yeah. And she says in an email, as you know, the band did not want these tapes released, not least as they haven't heard them, despite you saying you would provide copies long ago, she wrote. You know that, as a band, Black Sabbath don't take things lying down. And you can be assured that if you go ahead with this against the band's wishes, we will take any action when and where their rights are infringed, both
This
here and in
this
America.
now?
That's Sharon. Yeah.
Dude,
Apparently she's
what,
the big
I'd be
dog.
scared of her, man. She's she don't mess around.
I wonder if she's got the rights to the name and stuff. She must, because she keeps throwing it around, the name Black
she
Sabbath.
knows that business probably better than anybody, man. Just about. I mean, she grew up in the business. That's all she's ever done. So she knows.
Wow. Holy cow, man.
That's the thing. You kind of, Sharon, you like to give her a hard time because she is kind of greedy, but I mean, she is very savvy and very, smart on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, learning from Roman. Yeah, yeah. So, holy cow. So there you go, man. Boy, oh boy. And the podcast prompted a response from Simpson, who said, it's such a shame Sharon has decided to go all out on the attack without sitting down to talk about this. It's also very unfair of her to make such an inaccurate and potentially defamatory comments. He has also said he still wants, quote, all band members to receive royalties from the album in the usual way, and claims he offered to meet with Sharon in July. If they want to strike a deal with me to launch this album, I would therefore be delighted to discuss that with them. And has yet to be released. So
I wonder what the other guys think about it. I'm sure there's a reason why it hasn't been, or maybe they didn't know it was even around still. Maybe they'd be happy that it was found and be putting out. Who knows? But
it'd be interesting to hear some of it, just to see the,
right.
I wonder if this was
started. Yeah.
I wonder if this was screwed up fingers.
Fingertips. Yeah.
If it wasn't, it could be regular. Hey everybody, gonna go. Then he cuts his fingers, and it's lighter strings and deep lower tuning, and everything changed. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Sharon and Earth and all them good people. The good people of, yeah. I tell you, that's crazy. Tell you what, this guy, where is he? There he is. Don't mind these two behind me. It's a guy over there, young blood.
Back to the beginning, yeah.
Young blood. Good riddance. This lightweight, I'm sorry. I'm going to say that, Doc, because I'm a child of the 70s. Back in the days when bands did so much drugs and trashed so many, hotel rooms and Keith Moon drove his car into a swimming pool and just the crazy ass days. And they lived for that shit, and they tore and tore and tore. But no. Now that Youngblood's got a little bit, he'd probably all drugged out, but these youngsters just can't handle it like the 70s people could. Yeah, he had to cancel the rest of his tour. He was playing with the Limp Bizkit's Loserville tour. And yeah, I guess you could say he's a loser, and I feel bad for his crew, of course. We always talk about them. They were the ones who are going to get screwed by this loser. Maybe they can jump on with Bullet for My Valentine because
Yeah,
they
they're
are
replacing
actually
them. Yeah, yeah,
replacing
yeah.
Youngblood on the rest of the tour. But yeah, man, back in the '70s, nobody canceled tours. That was I'm sure it was a rarity because everybody was just
You're right.
whacked
I
out.
haven't really thought about those terms, but I'm sure the traveling is much more comfortable now. I'm sure. They're taking planes. Where back in the day they were taking buses, and the
It just wow.
accommodations are much more. Everything's probably better, but yeah, back in the day, man, you just hoofed it out, man. You just did what you had to do,
Yeah, 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 a lot
and
tougher.
partied like a rock star. That's
Oh,
how
they
it.
were
That's how it.
sex and drugs and rock and roll is all my brain and body needs. Sex and drugs and rock and roll, good enough for me. There you go. I love that verse, man. That's a life verse. That's a life lesson right there. But oh yeah, we partied so much harder back then, and nobody canceled tours.
Bye.
Jeez.
Look, Ian Drury and the Blockheads there.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Gosh, Doc, jeez, man. Like an encyclopedia. And I don't mean Wikipedia, those pieces of lying crap. I mean actual Funk and Wagnalls type of shit, brother. Yeah, yeah. But there you go. Yeah, so Youngblood, yeah, he canceled out the doggone tour. My gosh almighty. And
Well,
they're
it just seemed like after the we did changes at the back to the beginning show we were just talking about, and he kind of blew up from there. And now he's getting nominated for Grammys for that performance, and he's on all these tours, and he's showing up at all these places, and obviously he's trying to strike while the iron's high. He's got a little
that is a
momentum
good
behind
idea,
him, and
actually. Yeah.
but apparently it's burned him out a little bit, and a little bit off a little more than he can chew, and he's got to take a step back. So
Oh boy,
maybe
he
his
got it.
blood isn't so young after all. Maybe
Oh, well, he's got to take up the '70s lifestyle. We knew what the hell was going on there. I could tell you stuff, but I can't. Doc, not on the
Oh, I know
Oh,
already.
oh my gosh! But yeah, the reason for Youngblood's removal from the tour bill remains unclear at this time. However, the announcement marks a significant moment for the Welsh metalcore pioneers. All right, metalcore. That'll be fun. Yeah, yeah, as they prepare for what could be a farewell performance of their landmark album. Wow. So they're getting a big chance here. And, Limp Bizkit, yeah, I'm sure that's crazy as hell. Just, I'm sure that I guarantee it's a successful tour. You know,
Well, you
I'm
saw it
sure
last year, yeah.
he's packing. Yeah. Oh God, that was crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy crowd, man. And so good for them. Good for them. And way to go, Bullet for My Valentine. The metalcore. Dig that. And Youngblood, suck it up, youngster. Maybe he's got something. I shouldn't say that. Who knows? He could have something horrible. Gee, many creepers. It could be really
Could have
terrible.
Lyme disease or something, probably.
Gosh,
Man.
I'm going to feel so bad then. So, yeah, get better soon, young
Well,
blood.
that's exactly what it is. Like you said, he's just trying to make the most of the moment and just kind of overdoing
Burn
it a bit.
himself out. I'll bet you. Yeah, yeah. Because I can't imagine, I gig once a week and I'm, well, of course, health issues, whatnot, but I see these bands on tour that,
But your moniker isn't Young Blood either, Murph.
yeah, my old geezer. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just every night, every other night, with a night, occasional night off here and there. It's just, uh, you know, kudos to these people.
Well, that's their life, though, man. That's what they
Gosh,
do,
yeah,
man. I
yeah.
mean,
Instead of yeah, running a vertical turret lathe, which I did up there at Caterpillar. Yeah, yeah,
that's
they're
what I mean. They
running
didn't lay brick or run lathes or fill paint or anything for
they're doing
50 freaking years or whatever, how long we were working, whatever,
sex and
100 years.
drugs and rock and roll. That's what they're doing,
Uh,
baby. Yeah. So good luck to Bullets. Good luck to them. And holy smokums, there he is. Where is he? Ah, there he is. Dennis DeYoung, looking
I
pretty
haven't
much.
heard too much from Dennis for a while.
He's looking like somebody's aunt at this point, especially with the longer hair. If you got, well, actually, that's an auntie look there, sort of. But anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
that's a wig. He's got one of the worst. He's always had one of the worst wigs. It's always been very obvious.
see, I never know. I'm sure you're right too, Doc. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we'll be talking that in a minute here. But yeah, Styx's Dennis DeYoung hits out at quote shameful Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And you figure, yeah, he just, we've talked about all the sour grapes and all this whatnot, but he made some really good. He made a really a salient point. You know, uh, uh, Here we go. He's taken to Facebook. DeYoung shared his grievances with the ceremony, beginning by highlighting that Paul Rogers was unable to celebrate Bad Company's induction due to health issues, stating that this wouldn't have been the case if the band were rightfully inducted while they're at the peak of their powers. And he writes, it's a shame that Bad Company had to wait so long to get in that it rendered Paul Rogers unable to perform due to health concerns. Bullocks! I would have liked to have seen him perform years ago to demonstrate how one of rock's premier singers actually rocks. He then shared his issue with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's name, adding, like the name on their institution's logo. I have said this repeatedly for decades. Just change the damn name. Gee. And then he spoke about how the group of artists like Cocker, Warren Zevon were all inducted posthumously at this year's event rather than when they were alive. And let me go on. Let's go on here. He says the induction ceremony clearly pointed out this tragic manner in which this joint operates, making so many musicians wait until they're either incapacitated or dead is shameful. Joe Cocker, Warren Zevon et al. Are suddenly eligible decades after their success? Explain that. What changed except the Hall's inability to let go of their clear prejudices and induct them? They now admit, when it's far too late, that they have erred. Boom. Oh man, he ain't in. Sticks ain't in, are they?
Stick's not in. They never
Oh,
even been nominated. So and it doesn't come to me. It doesn't come off as sour grapes. Like, oh, we should be in. He's not saying that at all. He's
no,
just
he's
saying,
talking
hey,
about the
these
process.
people that are in should have been in when they could enjoy it. Because it happens every year. There's somebody that goes in that just died, or there's sometimes the artist will get the announcement and then die before the actual ceremony. We had that with the MC5 where we lost Wayne Kramer in the interim there. So that happens all the time. In this case, yeah, it's Joe Cocker, Warren Zevon. They've been gone for a while. But yeah, Bad Company, real good example. Paul Rogers,
He's
2
too
years
sick.
ago, he could
And
have
I
went and
think that
performed.
Simon was it
You know,
Simon that came? One the
yeah,
drummer came to
Kurt was
accept
the
it.
only one.
Well, only
Mick
one.
Mouse just lost a couple, but
Yeah,
he's been
yeah.
poor health. He probably wouldn't have been able to go,
But
but he
but
would have been
years
alive to know it.
ago,
Yeah,
it
he
could
would
have
have been
happened
alive to know it. Yeah,
15 years ago.
yeah,
Jeez,
yeah.
gosh,
Every
oh my.
year there's somebody goes in and it's like, well, nothing's happened in the last 10 years that's boost their eligibility or anything or their
Uh,
presence.
right.
Why did they go in 10 years ago instead of Janet Jackson or instead of
Gosh.
pick
Oh,
whoever went in?
countless
Yeah,
others.
you know.
Jeez. But yeah, he's so right. It would be nice to see the full band while they're all still able. And they just, it's just such a farce at this point. We talk about it, but this is a
Yeah,
new
I'm
angle.
usually I'm a defender of the Hall of Fame in a lot of ways, and I appreciate what they're doing. But
Yeah,
yeah, they definitely have their faults, and
yeah.
you know sometimes they seem like they're trying to like getting a lot of women in lately. It's like when they get under fire for certain
Oh, okay. Right, right,
or
right.
receive criticism in certain areas, they seem like they try to make up for it. Like when they got Rush in and stuff like that. Then you kind of had a run there. We had Rush, then Kiss, and you had a few bands that had been waiting for a while. But and there's
Mm-mm-mm.
always people that deserve to go in there, and that's part of the fun of it. I get that.
Well,
But
that sticks. Like,
if you admit that they should be in, why weren't they in 10 years ago?
yeah, like sticks.
That's
Sticks should be
yeah.
in now. I mean, and really, their songs were all over the freaking radio, and they're just so good. So, but no, they're not in yet. What the fuck? Yeah, let's wait till. Well, they had one of them pass, I think, already, but one of the
Oh
original
yeah, one of
ones.
the brothers. Yeah, both
Yeah,
the
one of the
brothers. Oh no, one of
brothers.
the brothers.
One of the
Chuck's
brothers
still around.
passed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Chuck.
drummer
Yeah, yeah,
passed. The
yeah,
bass
yeah, yeah.
player shows up
Yeah,
every
he's still
now and
around.
then.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, when we saw him, he came out and did a
here
couple
they go
tunes.
though. Get them in for Christ's sake. Jeez, you idiots, you morons, jerks. Oh gosh, I hate them all, Doc. They're like politicians. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They all suck. And speaking of, let me see. Wait a while. Oh yeah, where is he? Holy cow. David Coverdale. David Coverdale. He's bugging out, man. Where is he? Now talk about somebody who looks like somebody's aunt. There you go. Hey, honey, I brought the cheesecake, to the party. Yeah, but yeah, David Coverdale, he's calling it quits, brother. And about what, 5 years too late, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just kind of giving the formal announcement now, but kind of reflect back on his career a little bit. Obviously, I don't know where he started, where Deep Purple got him from. I was trying to look into that. I didn't see too much on that, but obviously he was somewhere before they found him. So he
Yeah.
came into Deep Purple. That would have been what, Mach 3, I guess, after Rod Evans and Ian Gillan's first run, and
Right, right.
came in with Glenn Hughes, and for what, 3 albums? They had what, Burn and
I got burned.
Stormbringer, and
Oh,
I think there's a third one. I don't know.
can't
Anyway,
remember. Yeah.
so yeah, did those three, split from Deep Purple, went on his own. And a lot of people don't know Whitesnake was the name of his first solo album. It was David Coverdale
Ah,
Whitesnake. And then he
yeah.
did I don't know, he did a handful of solo albums, maybe three or four maybe. And then
Referring to, of course, the rare African African jungle white snake that
yeah, the rare.
roamed in the. No, it wasn't that snake. No, geez. But anyway, yeah, yeah.
And obviously hit big in the 80s with Tawny Katane and whatnot.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
God, wow, wow, what a train wreck from heck. Bless her soul, but jeez, man, she was. You knew that. Wow, stay
Yeah. Yeah, you
far,
didn't see
far away
that.
from that one, man. Wow. Oh boy, he screwed that one up. But wow, yeah. So he's retiring, and
So
I
yeah.
and on a quick side note, since we're on the retiring things, real quickly, Ian Gillian, he's going to be bugging out here. Deep Purple's legendary. Gosh, boy, voice. We've us geezers have heard our whole rockin' life. The songs, legendary songs from Deep Purple. He's losing his eyesight, and he's going to be bugging out,
What's with
retiring.
these guys losing their eyes? Remember we talked a while back where Elton John and Roger Daltrey and all these
Well,
old
my
English guys
eyesight's fun. No glaucoma
are
here,
going
man.
blind.
I wonder why that is.
Too much masturbation? Is that what it is? You go
No,
blind?
for me, what? Who?
No, not you.
No.
No, over there. They go blind if you do that shit too much.
Oh no, I got no glaucoma. That's all I got. That's all I need to say, brother. Woo! But yeah, and he's 80 years old. Jeez, he says his eyesight's down to like 30% now. And at 80 years old, what are you doing?
Wow.
Go
I know.
go
I
go
know.
go have a cookout with your friends.
Speaking of Deep
Jeez.
Purple, back in the Ian Gillan days, I just heard a story. They were on a tour bus. This is back in the main day. Richie Blackmore, Ian Gillan,
Oh yeah.
John Lord and Roger Glover and Ian Pace and those guys. And so they're on the tour bus. They got a journalist with them, rock journalist, and
Okay.
kind of asked them how they put a song together and everything.
Almost
So
famous.
they're going to show them. And right in front of them, they fucking wrote Highway Star, man.
Oh
Just
my
fucking right
God.
there, just fucking laid it out, man.
That song
So,
is probably the best driving song ever. I mean,
right?
if you want to really drive and not be a wuss and drive the speed limit and stuff, no, you put on Highway Star and then you hit the pedal to the metal and you grind the gears. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he's 80 years old and he should retire anyway. So there's another guy who's calling it quits. And boy, oh boy, you know who else is calling it quits, Doc? This chef right here. Oh, poor chef. This guy, I don't believe it. He's in Lima, Peru. There's Axel. Ackwell, as they say on Beverly Hills Cop. Ackwell. And a chef in Lima, Peru says he was fired from the Marriott after taking a photo with his lifelong idol, Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose. Okay, let me go. According to Bajo Pior Noticias, Richard Perez Cuscano had worked at the hotel for over a decade and cooked several meals for Rose during the band's November 5th stop in Lima. But after asking for a photo, he says he was dismissed for violating hotel policy. What a bunch of jerk-offs. The photo is now pinned to his Instagram. That's what you're looking at there. Captioned with November Rain lyrics and a message to his younger self. How do I explain to my younger self that this would happen one day? That a time would come when he'd become a chef and one night he'd cook like never before. for W. Axl Rose, and that he'd reach out and shake his hand. Was it worth it? It was worth it. It is worth it, and it will keep being worth it until the very last day. Good for him, man. Good for him.
I'm glad he threw in the W. People forget it's W. Axl Rose. Yeah, you forget about that. I'm glad he threw in the
Wow.
W, man.
Wanker Axl Rose. I don't know.
Who knows? But I'm trying to. Now you got me trying to think on that. But no. But
Oh,
yeah, he's right, man. Job's a job, man. He get another job. I mean, he's been there 10 years. I'm sure he, would like to stay. But whatever. Now he's got
well,
this picture, man. It's gonna stay with him. Jobs,
it's
they come and
according to
go,
one
man.
comment. Well, like you say, this comment, according to the job, he should have known that nothing lasts forever, even cold November rain. Well, good for it. Yeah, what the shame on that? Really, I don't know. It's the problem. I can, I'm sure the point is, celebrities. You've got to leave the celebrities alone, and you
Right.
can't interface with them, interact
Right.
with them, and
Yeah.
don't look at them. Don't, nothing. So, but
Well, I'm sure with this publicity,
Axel
man,
looks
somebody will
happy.
hire him.
Oh, chefs, a good chef. Are you kidding?
Axel should hire him. Axel should
Yeah,
hire him as the
the
chef for
tour
Guns N'
chef.
Roses, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Yeah.
looking. That actually looks pretty healthy there, really. Axel, because God, I saw an AI photo of him. It had to be AI. AI is horrible, Doc. It's gonna ruin everything, brother. It is already ruining everything. Jiminy creepers. You heard about the AI? The like number one country song recently was an
Oh yeah.
AI. Geez,
Yeah.
here we go, and that stupid band we found AI. But like I say, you can't put soul and groove. AI can't do soul and groove. You can only so. But they're getting close, man.
Well, that's why I say, yeah, that's on the country chart. Our country's pretty formulaic anyway. So I mean,
Oh gosh,
so are
I'll
the
tell
pop
you.
charts. I mean, pretty much everything on the charts is these days. But
Yeah, yeah. Holy cow. Well, anyway, yeah. There's a interesting news. We've got some. Maybe we'll talk about the upcoming. They're starting to announce concerts for the coming 2026 season. Maybe we'll have some. We can do some talking about what's coming up. We'll do that next week. But for this week, it's cold and dank in the upper Midwest. This freaking daylight saving time. It's already dark. Ugh, I swear. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for
sure the
stopping
hell
by.
up, man.
You
Jesus.
betcha, man. Oh, I've had a heck of a week, Doc. I went to the lowest low and came back up somewhat. So that's all I'm gonna say. But it's been a heck of a week. But I'm feeling good now, man. So take us home, brother.
Yeah, it's always good to do our weekly conversation, man. Always gets the gets the mojo going a little bit, man. So glad everybody could stop by and check us out. We're always very, very appreciative of that. And as you know, we'll do it again next week. We'll see what happens. And maybe Sharon will explain. She's got some
Somebody
explaining to do,
planning to
man.
do. Oh
Yeah, holy
man, wow.
jeez.
I'm
So,
living.
but as you know, we'll see what happens then. We'll talk about it. Until then, have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody.